All right, so it's about 9 a.m. here, and at the moment, I'm watching to see if we have any good news opportunities. Let's see. Kodak popping up there. Yeah, the 200 is about 550, so it's above that level. It is easy to borrow. Float on Kodak. The thing is, this one had some weird stuff going on, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It's 50 million share float. Had this crazy move up to, what was it? I mean, it was crazy, up to $60. So the high is 86. Float's a little higher. It's easy to borrow. A little bit of a probably tricky combination there. Would focus on base hits only on it. So this morning, I've already taken a couple trades. Had XRTX, which is currently our leading gapper, but it's only up 75% after being up over 100%. It's pulled back quite a bit. There was some news at 7 a.m. You got that 7 a.m. spike, which was pretty huge, from $1.30 up to $3, over 100%. But then rolled over and has been selling off since then. A lot of selling on it. Float's 12 million shares. No issue with the float, but just a lot of selling. I made $777 on it this morning, but I lost $600 on PETZ, so I'm only up $166 on the day, which I'll put up my disclaimer as a reminder that trading is risky and my results are not typical and there's no guarantee you'll find success. But my results for today, as far as I'm concerned, this is basically like a break-even day for me. I have not really put myself on the leaderboard yet today. It's early, I suppose, but one of the problems this morning is that the S&P 500 is down on the CPI numbers that were posted at 8:30. So came in higher than the expectation. So we have this, knee-jerk reaction in the market, pops up and then flushes down, and now the market's trying to figure out what direction it wants to go. And I think that that's weighing on traders a little bit, and on the fact is the small cap stocks kind of do their own thing. I mean, you guys know this. The small cap stocks, they go up sort of regardless of what's going on in the market, but the market can create a bit of a tailwind or a headwind. And I think today that we do have a headwind with what's happening in the overall market. And we also just have the reality that there isn't a super obvious one yet. So kind of waiting to see what becomes obvious. So, and one of the things that's interesting right now is you've got a lot of stocks like Kodak that are right below or at its 200 moving average. APEN was similar. The 200 moving average 574 kind of came like right up to that level. It's the fourth leading gapper. Maybe, but has that headwind, has that resistance pretty close by. WYY, this one, the 200 is at 398, so that's somewhat close as well. 74 million task order by United States Coast Guard for cellular wireless managed services. Sounds like a good deal, sounds like a good catalyst, but I don't know. It's the float on it says 8 million shares. It is easy to borrow, which is a little unusual for a under 10 million share float stock. I'm not sure. The high is 340. So your first target on this, well, and you're coming right up to it. Your first target is the 200 moving average. That's going to be resistance. So see how that kind of pops up there? So, this is one, they go with you, they'll go without you. Sometimes you sit on the sidelines and they'll end up popping up. So for me, I would need to see whether or not this can hold, how it reacts to the 200. Hi, bud. Come on over. I did. Hi. How are you feeling today?
Mommy wants me up here.
Alright, I saw that. Okay, let's see.
I moved my shoes up here so I can go on my benches.
Okay, that sounds good.
because I was already.
Are you already hungry?
I'm not hungry.
All right.
Because I was sleeping, so I was watching movies in Pop Shop.
Oh, okay. So let's see. So yeah, it's 9:05 right now. And yeah, generally speaking, it seems like kind of a slow day, which isn't super surprising, just considering what's going on with the overall market. So we'll be watching any potential opportunities here, but I think that nothing right now looks obvious. So, you know, I had a great day yesterday, and there's really no reason to push it if there isn't something that looks really good here. So I'm fine with not trading today if nothing ends up popping up that looks suitable. Not trading anymore, at least. So I have the S&P up at the top, so I can keep an eye on that. WYY, you know, that was a nice candle from 320 up to 375. You know, that's nice, but is it going to hold? Probably not. Okay. Mm-hmm. Took a 3,000 share trade on APEN for the breakthrough 30 there. So you've got 30 on the ask, added at 30, now looking for 35. This to me is just like a small little base hit. Look for the continuation. This at least has 30 cents up to the 200. So your high there is 56. So let's see if we break through. There's 33. There you go. So yeah, $267 of profit. It's a first 5-minute candle to make a new high. A little continuation there. Not sure I'll add back on it, but we'll see. WYY was too close to the 200, I thought, at the top here when it started to open up. Volume is also pretty light on that one. So APEN high is 37. So there's 38, 39. So this ends up looking like a decent 5-minute candle. You know, you've got the pullback and then that nice green candle. You've got high volume on the green candle. Of course, now it's getting up to the sort of the top of the range. So what I would wait for at this point would be to see on a pullback where it pulls back to, how well it holds, and if we get another setup on it. You've got a couple issues on it. Float, easy to borrow, below the 200. You've got news, which is good, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. So first red candle forming there after 3 green candles. So we're getting a little pullback. And I mean, I think most of you guys who have been trading for a while, you know, you can see the difference between fast moving markets and what we're working with today. You know, this has only been trading within like a 10-cent range, 15-cent range in the last, you know, few minutes. It's just not moving a lot. Okay, so the low of that candle was 26. Some traders mentioning WYYY or WYY still. Yeah, so right now you're back right under the VWAP, sort of pulled back right under to this level, and your high a day is 376. Yeah, $73 million. It is a big contract. I mean, the stock, it is, and it probably deserves to be up more than it is, but the market's, it's a tough time for a lot of these companies. Like, this would be a terrible time for a company to IPO, but just a small cap company in general, you know, they get beaten up. They'll drop down 50% during a bear market, 75%. Many of them will. APEN moved just a little bit higher there to 43. First 1 minute candle to make a new high, but didn't squeeze through the $0.50. I would consider APEN to be, I would say this is probably the first pullback here, and this is the second forming right now. But I just don't know if it's going to have the momentum to break through to new high of day, given that that candle initially is already like a shooting star candle. It popped up and came back so quickly that that's not a very bullish, it's green, but not a very bullish candle. So green candle, now red. Maybe we form a 5-minute pullback here. And then during the period of the 5-minute pullback, other traders that are sitting down will have the opportunity to see this setup and make a decision on whether or not they want to trade it. They'll probably look at the same thing I'm looking at, which is 200 moving average at 574. Okay, FDA. Okay, so it's, you know, this kind of company. All right. High was 43. High back here was 56. Maybe after a couple more candles, it'll be ready for another trade. IS has a very large float, over 400 million shares. It's below VWAP right now, but just the way it trades is not very interesting to me. It's not a fast mover. So that one's not on the list. 13-cent stock, too cheap. Hey, good morning. So yesterday, KSPN super strong until secondary offering. I went all the way up to $10, and then they did a secondary offering, announced it in the middle of the day. So dropped 3 halts down from 10 down to 550, 50%, bounced up off the low up to 720, and then closed down here 485. Brutal. That's, you don't like seeing that. HSTO yesterday also had a nice move up pre-market, was selling off by the open, and then they also announced a $5 million private placement. So priced at 281. So this this is a little disappointing to see those two types of moves, and we may see that in small caps. You know, coming out of this bear market, small cap companies that when they do pop up, they'll take the opportunity to sell shares and try to raise some money. So that's something to be aware of, and is definitely a reason to be cautious trading midday, because those can, they can catch you off guard. So it seems like you've got a seller up here. You get that reversal back down. So that's a China Bear ETF. I wouldn't trade that. AERC, I didn't notice if there's news on it today, but doesn't seem like it's doing too much. So I don't think there's anything there for me on that one. So high volume red candle there, 100,000 shares of volume. Ends up looking like a flat top pattern. So it would be better if this came back down to about the 9 moving average. We have only 10 minutes to the open, so at this point, it certainly does seem pretty slow. APEN, maybe something we'll see some opportunity on at the open, but you know, you've got that 200 moving average there, so I'm not sure if it'll be strong enough to break through that level. IS, you can see 100,000 share buyer on the bid at 31. So those are those really big orders that come out. APEN has a bid at 32, 27,000 shares. But doesn't seem like quite enough to convince traders to buy it yet. APEN near the 20. Yep, and then the bid is gone, disappears. So I think everything today is just going to be, quick base hits, staying really light on your toes, smaller size, get in, get some profit, get out, maybe get back in if it proves itself and is worthy, but just this is a good time to take it a little slower. So APEN sort of pulling back, WYY below the VWAP, but I'll take a starter of that at 24 for that curl through VWAP. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was thinking. We eventually get that curl. Do we get a break of 35? I'm holding 750 shares. A couple traders were mentioning that right at the 20 moving average. High, this candle's 35, so I put my new order at 35. 1,500 shares. So you see then 26, 18 on the bid. Still holding 750 shares. But it's just not strong enough. And unfortunately what this ends up forming is a rejection at the volume weight average price, right? So it pops up, and then if it can't hold that level, then you've got this rejection candle, and that's a broken chart. APEN is not a broken chart. This chart's still valid, but it's pulling back. High, this current candle's 35, and we're working with a very narrow range. So we've got about 6 minutes to the opening bell. I would say at this point, we'll keep an eye on APEN. I'll keep an eye on WYY, although I think that chart's broken now. And I'll keep an eye on the high day momentum scanner, and we'll see if something else pops up that ends up looking good. See, look at that WYY, how it just drops there to 3. That's that rejection off of VWAP. $20,000 share seller at 3. NRSN, I don't know. Popped up there, I'm not sure. And reversal, right? So this is what we're seeing, and this is a trend. So certainly a day to keep it tight. With relatively small share size, I'm sitting at $574.14. This is like RV kind of trading money. I am at my office here, but I'm not comfortable pulling out big size right now and really trying to scale in and build a big position on anything. So I'm just taking the small gains, and these types of days, they keep my head above water. They keep me in the market. I did go red 600. That was my first trade of the day on PETZ. Recovered on XRTX, and then the last couple trades have just been pretty small. So yeah, we got a couple wildcard setups, recent reverse splits, recent IPOs. Those are good to keep an eye on. You never know. It's always possible you can get a nice move, but those are just going to be side charts for right now. All right, so we've got 4 minutes to the open. I will do a recap again today. So we'll record that a little bit later. And those on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the morning show, and we'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, right around 9:15 again. All right, so thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you in the morning.